Hey guys, it's Dawn here, and today I figured I'd share what happens when I run my RSHT down to 1% battery. So on the group ride, and this is important because I didn't know any of this information beforehand. I knew I wanted to understand more about my battery and how to manage it and all that stuff and what to do when I run out of battery. But I couldn't really find much information about it. So anyways, it happened to me, and it's good. I wanted it to happen on a group ride, or at least with more knowledgeable people around, so hopefully they could help me, and this turned out perfect. Anyway, so on the group ride, the 80-mile group ride from Sunday, then the first they said there were going to be two charging stations, right? Or two charging stops. So I was counting on that. But our very first leg of the trip, I did 40, almost 41 miles. At 40 miles, then, or maybe 39 miles, I noticed that, and this is pretty hard riding. Like I was riding my beeps, the 80% output beeps. I was riding those beeps, but just like touching it, hearing a beep once, and then backing off and just staying right around there for a lot of the time. And then I'd pull, I definitely slow down when, for certain things and stuff. But I mean, we were just going. So, and I mean, everyone there had bigger wheels. So my smaller wheel, the RSHT, I'm not going to say struggling, but I'm just saying that we had to, really be up there to keep up with everyone. So, not that it was bad or anything, but I ran my battery down, and I was not riding conservatively is what I'm saying. Because if you ride conservatively, according to the manual, the RSHT is supposed to get 60 to 100-mile range. That's what it says. If it's carrying a 155-pound rider at 15 miles an hour, something like that. 60 to 100 miles, right? So if you're not being conservative, I got 40 miles. And I'm 135 pounds, plus a heavy backpack, plus my heavy leg, my waist pack and stuff like that. But still, I shouldn't, I don't know. So anyways, so what I noticed is that first I was able to hit 35.7 miles an hour, right? Easy. Then it started being like 33 is when it would start beeping. And I'm like, okay, that's telling me that I'm running down my battery. Okay, not a big deal. Then it started getting to where it was beeping at 20 miles an hour. And I was like, 80% motor output beeps at 20 miles an hour. Then it was 15 miles an hour. Then I started noticing that I'd be going like 15 miles an hour and big wind gusts would hit me and then it'd beep. Just from the extra effort of me leaning into the wind to fight the wind, right? So I'm like, okay, the wind is definitely affecting it. So then, okay, then it was 10 miles an hour, and then it was like 8 miles an hour, and then it was just constant beep. It was like beep, 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 and nothing that I did, like slowing down and all, nothing that I did would make the beep stop. And I'm like, what is this beeps? So I checked my phone, and I'm like, it said I had 2% battery left. And I was like, oh my gosh, 2% battery. There was no one in front of me, no one behind me that I could see. So I was just alone on the trail at this point. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I am like out of battery. No one's around. So, and I don't know what's going on. So I pull over, and I stop. I shut him down. I don't know. He's beeping. He won't stop. I don't know if he's about to explode. And I don't know how close to cut out I'm gonna be. Am I gonna just like bleh, it's like die? So anyways, pulled over, turned him off. I'm sitting there and I'm just pondering life. And then there was one rider behind me. He comes up, he pulls up, and I think it was his first time as well. And he goes, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. It's just that I'm out of battery. I got like 2% left." And he's beeping. And he's like, "Oh," and he goes, "I'm sorry, I don't know how to help you." And I said, "Just go. Just, he's like, "Do you have battery?" He's like, "Yeah, I got like 30% left." I was like, "Just go. Go to the front, catch up with those guys, let them know that I'm dead. Or my battery's dead." And so he goes. And I'm like, "Okay, well, I guess I'll just start walking." I pulled out the trolley handle and I'm like, I'll just push him with him off, because I don't know, should I push him if I turn him on, he's going to be using battery. And I got 2% left. I don't know what's the wisest way to use this 2%, but I want to conserve it and wait for backup, wait for people more knowledgeable to tell me what I should do. So luckily I didn't have to push him too far. And it is a pain in the butt to push him when he is off. He's all like a drunk person, and I'm over here yelling at him, and it's like, "Come on, just stay straight." Wind is pushing at us. It was like horrible. So anyways, then I see Roger riding back towards me, and he's all like, "La la 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 la," and I'm like, so he's like, "What's up?" And I'm like, "I have no more battery." And he's like, "Did you get tilt back?" I go, "No." He's like, "Well, what's it doing?" I said, he just keeps beeping. I'm going like super slow, like 8 miles an hour, and he just keeps beeping. No matter what I do, he won't stop beeping." And he's like, "Oh, you're fine. You didn't even get tilt back yet?" No tilt back. "Oh, you're fine." He goes, "Here, you want to try and ride mine?" And I think he was on the Sherman. I'm not sure. And he's like, "You want to try ride mine and I'll ride yours?" And I was like, "Oh, I would love to ride his." But then I was like, well, logically speaking, if mine is rideable, I should ride him because I'm lighter than he is. And, that would better conserve the battery. So he's like, "Yeah, that's true." So I'm like, I will ride mine, and just as long as you're telling me that's safe and he's not going to just cut out. And he's like, no, you should have like 2 miles left in him. I was like, whoa, okay. And I said, well, what about the constant beeping? He's like, no, that's fine. So I get on Drogo, he's beeping, and we're going like maybe 10 miles an hour. We're just like cruising, like just enough to where, just enough speed to where I can balance, but not pushing it at all. Just like trying to cruise it. And it's still, blowing wind. So I told Roger, I was like, you know what? Get ahead of me and I'm going to draft you. And drafting is what we do in motorcycling, motorcycle racing. In a race, if you want to get a little bit of an advantage, then you get behind the leader and you draft. So the leader is going to be taking the brunt force of the wind, and the wind goes around the first bike. And if you're close enough behind, it'll go around you. So you avoid all that wind drag. And then at the opportune time, then you can zoom and zip around him and then get in front. So you draft, you hide behind his little wind tunnel that he's created. So I'm like, I'm going to see if I can draft you. And that worked. So he's going and I'm drafting, but because it was a side wind, I couldn't be right behind Roger. I had to like be off to the side a little bit, but I could experiment. And then I found the right little pocket. So I crouched down, I'm in his little pocket, I'm drafting him. He's blocking the majority of the headwind for me, and it was great. And now thinking back, if it was really dire, then I should have asked if he could take my backpack and my hip bag and lighten my load so that I would be as light as possible on mine as we're limping back, or limping to the stop. which was only a little over a mile away or something like that. So, but it wasn't that dire. But yeah, so the thing to do is you can draft someone, you can try to make sure to get all the weight off and be as light as possible, or have the lightest person, ride the dying battery. And also there was another RS that and it was with a guy, and so that one ran down battery even further than mine. And what they did was they had a tether, not like my tether. I don't know what it was, like a really short piece of rope or something. And so the person in front was holding the rope and then towing the person in the back, just to take some of the load off of the dying battery in the back. So that's another idea, is to use a tether and tow. And that is good to know too, because I carry a tether with me, so that makes it so that my towy tether has another possible use. But anyways, we did that, and we limped all the way back, and I never got to the point where he was tilting back at me. So I actually still had a good amount of battery left. And then we got there and we got him charged and stuff. Now, went for the charging, no one else there that I saw was beeping. I was the one beep, 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 the whole time coming in. Everyone's looking, oh, she's beeping. And so they're like, okay, you got your charger? I said, yeah. What kind of charger? I said, mine is a 3 amp. And they go, no, put that away. We got fast chargers here. So they tried to fast charge him at, they had a fast charger that could do 8-volt plus. People are saying that they have charged their RS at 12 volts or something like that. The stock charger that I have is 3, or not volts, amps. So my charge is 3 amps, and people have said they can charge up to 12 amps, and some people said 8 amps, some people say 9 amps, but they tried all that and it didn't work on Drogo. Drogo was not having it. He's like, and then they're all confused. They're like, why isn't it charging? Why isn't it working? They dropped down to 6 amps and he took that. So my RSHT is, I think it's called the version 3. It's the black motherboard with the LCD screen, the latest one, because I got him in February 2022. So I think mine is a version 3. And apparently, if you have the version 1 or maybe the version 2, you can charge them at a higher amperage. But for the version 3, they cut that down. He will only take a 6 amp charge as the max. So he has the dual charge ports, and he comes with the 3 amp. So I think what they're thinking is you can buy another 3 amp and charge, put 2 chargers on him, 2 3 amp chargers on him, or 1 6 amp charger on him. He will take a maximum of 6 amps. So then I was like, well, why is mine all gimpy, and stuff. And it was explained to me briefly that it could be that the manufacturer thinks that using the faster charger could damage the battery, because the BMS might not be able to balance the cells when the incoming amperage is so much higher or something. So whatever it is, the manufacturer limited mine to 6 amps. And that's good to know, because a lot of people there didn't know, and we were all trying to figure out why he wasn't taking 12 amps. So anyway, 6 amps. Now I know I need, something like a 6 amp or two 3 amps, and that'll work. Rossi came with a 1.5 amp charger. So if nothing else, I can take my charger and Rossi's charger. That'll bump up my amperage from 3 amps to 4.5 amps that I can charge him at. It's not as good as 6 amps, but that's all I got right now. And those fast chargers are not cheap. And I mean, I would buy a fast charger, but if I'm going to get a bigger wheel anyways later on, and the bigger wheel comes with a higher amperage stock charger, then it might be redundant to just buy one now. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure that out. Okay, so the other thing that I needed to note was that voltage. So on the darkness spot, it tells you what your battery voltage is. And I think mine says like 100.8 or something like that. So fully charged battery is 100.8 voltage. A dead battery on mine should be about 78 volts. I was at 79 volts, and Darkness Spot said that I was about 1 to 2% battery. Like it was flickering 1 to 2%. On Drogo himself, on his LCD screen, he had no bars, like none. So I'm just telling you all this because it's like I was looking at all these things to see, what my indicators are and how accurate. And I don't remember now what it said for miles remaining, but miles remaining was like low, really, really low. And but what I can say is that I'm really happy with the information that Darkness Bot was telling me. Like it seemed accurate. It was telling me, 1 to 2% at 79 volts. People are saying 78 for the RS is dead. Then there's like, well, it depends on the individual batteries. Like some people's batteries might dead might mean 77 or 76 or 78 is a good average. But to really know what your wheel is, you would have to test it out. And I don't know if I want to run him all the way down to test him out like that. I don't think it's necessary. I think this test run was good enough. 79, I probably have another 79 volts. I probably have another 2 miles. I can limp it home, and I still got it to that stop before I was getting tilt back. So I still had a little bit of juice left. And oh, I had another thing I was just about to say. It's completely gone. Anyways, so overall, so that's what I learned about my running out of battery. Oh, 41 miles is what I got in the end. And 41 miles to the 79 volts. So it was good. It was a great experience. I learned a lot. There are different tones in the beeps. No one talks about that either. So the beep, 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 the constant slow beep means low battery. But apparently it doesn't mean anything dangerous is going to happen, just means low battery. Then if you try to push it at that point, it'll do the beep, the low battery beep, but then it also changed the tone of the beep to kind of like give you a little warning, like, like it's like beep, 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 beep. I can't do it, but it's like the tone or the pitch of the beep changes to give you a little warning too. So you got to listen, because I guess there's different nuances to the beeps. So the speed of the beeps, how many beeps per second, and then the tone of the beeps, and the consistency of the beeps. These, it's funny because Emotion, or I know Emotion does it. I don't know if King Song does it. I think King Song does, where they will say things to you. They will say like, slow down, or be careful, and it's like really nice. It's like, slow down, be careful and stuff like that. It's very cheerful. And Bigode Gotway is just like beep, beep. It's just different kinds of beeps, different nuances of beeps. But anyways, I'm actually really happy with Drogo's performance, because I mean, you saw when I was testing out Cutout, he gives me a big safety margin, right? His built-in safety thing, I think, is like plenty. It is definitely good enough if you respect it and stuff. And then the running out of battery to run down to 1% battery and still give me 2 miles to limp it to safety, that's great. I mean, that is amazing. So anyways, love it. Great experience. Hope this data helps. I'm already out of time. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.